Hello, everybody. Oh, I'm so loud. I'm so sorry. I was so aggressive. Hello, everybody.
Welcome.
Welcome. All right. Our audio should be good. We should have no problems today. I'm just knocking on something right now. Okay. But I have Askesienne, aka Libby, with me today. I'm Miss Ash, or you can call me Ash, whichever works for you. I'm Tiltify's community manager. I get to host awesome community spotlight events like this. I get to chat with amazing charities on our stream and highlight all our fundraisers that have been a part of our journey for all these years. So thank you so much for joining us today. I have
Thank
Libby
you.
here. I love her. Okay, I love her. I've known her for such a long time. She feels like a sister at this point.
Oh, I love you.
Yeah.
Thank
No,
you.
I love you. You always check on me. I check on you. We're both in the same space now. And Team Kitty has been a big part of my journey as a creator. And we've done so much together. So I'm proud of you. And thank you for being in the Tiltify community and being in my life. I love you. You're amazing.
Thank you, Ash. I sincerely
Of course.
appreciate that.
Don't cry.
Um, I know we have
Don't
to.
cry.
This is a
Okay.
no crying time. It's a nice things about each other, but no crying. But yeah, hi, my name is Libby. Online, I go by Askesienne. It's okay. Nobody can pronounce it. Libby is totally fine. Um, I am sure there is a bunch that I will talk about in this here spotlight. So mostly, I will just say hello, and I will let Ash move on to whatever we're going to talk about today.
Well, you have to tell us a little bit about yourself. I want to know about your creator journey and how you got to your community management role at Players versus Cancer. If you could tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, as a creator, I actually started streaming because I found out that charity streams were a thing that you could do. I was a viewer, I was in a bunch of streamers' communities. I've always been a gamer since like middle school, right? And I watched a lot of Twitch streams. And then I saw some of the streamers that I was watching do these charity events and, fundraise for different causes that were important to them. And I went, oh, like, I didn't even know if I was really going to be into streaming or if I'd be good at it or whatever. Um, but I saw people charity streaming and I was like, okay, well, I'm already wasting all my time playing video games in graduate school because that's what graduate school is all about, is going to class and then playing video games all night, obviously.
Yes.
Um, and even if I make, $5 for a charity, at least me having been live will have done something net positive for the world, rather than just me doing it by myself. And so I started up streams. At the time, I played my OG love of my life game, World of Warcraft, on streams, and I made my whole guild open my stream so that I had viewers. Like, I straight up fricked my raid group. I was like, I'm only explaining the strats in the stream, so you have to have it open. And so that was the beginning of my stream journey. um my background is in communications and marketing, which sort of, like I said, I was in grad school at the time, going for a marketing master's. And what I learned from my experiences kind of in the streaming space during that time, when I finished graduate school, I started looking into the gaming industry. So I've worked at a company called Overstream. It was a streaming tools software. I've worked at SteelSeries. I worked at Congregate. And most recently, I work as a senior manager for online community relations at PlayersVsCancer, which is part of the American Association for Cancer Research. So there's sort of this weird mixture of as a creator, I focused on charity from the beginning. Variety caster, I kind of play whatever I want. Big joke is I'm apparently a just chatting main because I'll jump into just chatting for like 20 minutes before a stream, and then it'll
Yeah.
4 hours will have gone by, and I'm like, oh, we didn't play a game. Sorry, guys. But I kind of play whatever. I like building. I like simulation games. I have, random scattered loves of different games across genres. But then I also do work full time as a community manager, specializing in whether it's creator programs or, social around creator features. So no matter where I've been, it's always been sort of adjacent to the streamer program or in charge in the case of PVC of our streamer program. What I do there is the AACR is a 115-year-old nonprofit that funds cancer researchers, so the scientists doing the lab work to change cancer therapies and create better outcomes
Oh.
for people. And then PVC is kind of one division, right, of our peer-to-peer fundraising. So just like you might have, marathons and all these different things, PVC is sort of the streaming bubble within that. And I'm super excited. It's a newer program. It started in 2019. And then I was brought on at the beginning of 2022 to kind of add someone who is in the streaming space. We have amazing folks on the team who are experts in peer-to-peer fundraising and all of the sort of corporate giving side of things. But then I joined on to kind of be the streamer gamer goblin mode in my little cave expert to kind of give some insight into our streamers and how we can grow the program. And it's been really, really fun. So that's me.
Awesome. Yes, she has many talents. Okay, many talents, and she's done so much over the years. You should be very proud of yourself, and I know you're enjoying your time at Players versus Cancer. I'm excited for all the new programs you're working on and the events, probably for the holidays, maybe.
Yes,
Very,
we are.
very excited.
We have the PVC winter formal, so we're gonna get all our streamers to dress their best and sock cancer in the face, and do some fundraising. And we'll have like there might be a stream plan that involves like a prom dress situation for me. So like it's gonna be a lot.
Ooh,
We're doing holiday party vibes, right? There's
yeah.
so many things that people talk about like, oh, it's like the season of giving, and you can relate to like the holidays and doing something good for the world around you. So we're doing our winter formal party, which you're
I
all invited
love
to.
it.
So
Ooh, I'm invited. I
of
can
course you're
come.
invited. I will deliver your invitation by hand. I wish I could. You live too far away for me to do that. I would love to do that.
We can meet in the middle somewhere.
Okay. Somewhere. The options are interesting, but we could do that.
But yes, Players versus Cancer is on Tiltify. You can create a campaign today, all right, or at any time. Of course, there's no specific time that you can only fundraise. You can fundraise anytime, any day, for however long as well. So take a look at Players versus Cancer on the Tiltify page. And if you need help, hit up Libby, okay? If you need to get set up with your
Absolutely.
with your
It is
fundraiser.
literally my job.
Yes, it is literally her job, and we're so happy for the work she's doing. So check that out, y'all. But Libby, mm, Libby, you have fundraised for a while now. You are considered a veteran at this point on the Tiltify platform. What do you think about that?
Honored. I got at the beginning of this year the sort of like Tiltify top fundraiser banner with all the pins, and I like instantly like Instagrammed a picture of it and was like obsessed with it. It hangs in my office. Typically, I'm in the midst of a move and a PC rebuild. It normally hangs off to the side of my desk so I can look at it. It's been really fun. I am so grateful that there is a place to do this kind of work, right? There's so much about not just streaming, but like the creator influencer economy that can feel so not self-involved because that feels too mean, but like about the person and what they're going to gain out of it. And of course, there are people who stream full time, that's their income. But having an avenue within this kind of industry and space to run what we need to be able to do something good for the world and like run it well and not have to like duct tape something together for your streams has been a joy. I've been on Tiltify forever. I am just under earning that 50K pin. So our next campaign, I am fully confident that I will earn it for my precious little banner. But it's really fun. I'm glad to be a Tiltify veteran. Found myself on the wall in your beautiful booth at TwitchCon, and more than that, I love being able to guide others who are doing this for the first time. Like you said, with PVC, it's quite literally my job to help people. But just as a creator, I'm always one to be like, hey, you know what we should not keep to ourselves? Good charity advice. Right? If you know how to charity stream and you want to share it with the world, you should do that. Like we did a wonderful panel at TwitchCon together.
Yes, we did.
About that, entirely about that, which the archive exists on the internet, so we don't have to go over. That's a lot of material to go over, but it's being someone who's gotten experience in charity streaming. It is so fun and so important to pass that on to other people as well. So that's been a joy.
Absolutely. And I think you have a book that you created.
I do.
Charity
I
Streaming 101, correct?
Charity Streaming 101. Yep. It is a completely free just ebook that I put together. It is what I always say is I do not want to take credit for it. I want to take credit for aggregating it. It's all stuff that I have learned from other creators in the space, from working closely with platforms and with charities as well, and just from my background in the space. But I basically put together it's like 35-ish pages. Of if you've never charity streamed before, here's how to do it. If you've already charity streamed but you're looking to amp stuff up, and it is completely free. I can try to link it in the chat if your lovely mods will let me. But it is,
Yes,
like I
I'm
said, it's something
linking
that's
it right
important.
now.
Okay, cool. I was gonna say it's something important to me that you know that is available to people. And there are a million things in the creator economy that are sort of like, oh, here's my like class on how to do blah blah blah, or here's a Skillshare on how to learn this. This is one that I was like, nope, it's got to be for everybody. So
Yeah.
it's available completely free on the internet, as are many many things. But I'm super excited to have been able to share that with the community. I actually have an update coming for it in a little bit here because there's some little extra chapters and such. Oh, thank you for sharing that. So,
Yes.
yep, that's the link to it in the chat. I am, my big thing is I really want to make sure that anybody can have that information and learn effectively how to charity stream, and not feel lost. Because a lot of creators will start and go, oh, well, my first campaign didn't go that well. Guess I'll never do it again. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, what if what is the next step? What can you try? What can you do next? And how can you, improve and continue to do better. And so
Yeah.
that's a thing that I do, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity to do that and to be able to provide that to other creators.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? From just my work alone in the last few years, 9 times out of 10, the reason why creators feel they don't do well is because they are so stressed and worried about how much they fundraise. And you
Yes.
know what? And it's okay because we all felt the same with our first fundraiser. But now that, we've had so much experience, I tell everybody when you start your first fundraiser, just have fun, be
Yeah.
passionate, and share facts with your community. The fact that you're
Yep.
bringing awareness is so powerful and strong, and it's going to multiply. Everyone else is going to hear it. They're going to tell their family, their friends, their own communities, hey, we're going to fundraise. Hey, I want to tell you about this cause. Hey, let's do this. I'm telling you, if you just focus on having fun and making fun incentives for yourself, milestones, just having fun with your community, you will
Oh
see
yeah.
an increase, and you will see like, wow, I did something amazing with my internet community, and I get to do this
Yeah.
at any time, so just have
Hmm.
fun. That's what you got to do. Number one, you have to create your campaign and set up all the good stuff. But
And then you get to
lastly,
have fun.
right, then you get to have fun. So Libby, how long does it usually take you to create your campaign and set up your milestones and incentives and everything?
Ooh, this is gonna sound like I'm selling out. Not very long because I have that lightning fast onboarding program I could use on Tiltify. No, that straight up sounds like an ad. No, what I like to do is I sort of have at this point a template set up for myself where, you know,
Yep.
I'm a big like Asana freak. Like my entire life is organized in Asana, like down to like house chores on a specific board on a recurring. It's too much. Um, but I have a template for charity streams that once I've decided I want to do something, it's like, hey, decide what your incentives are going to be, make sure you publish your, like the things that you need to do. Um, I have a couple of, good fallbacks for incentives. We've talked about this before, but I hate sour candy. So warheads, like the sour
Yes.
candy, are huge for my community because I think it's hilarious to watch me pull like crazy faces because sour's not my thing. I know people love sour. It's not me. Um, and then I'll try to kind of generate something new or different for each one. But the actual creation of a campaign, super quick. Um, like again, I'm gonna sound like a sellout, but like especially on Tiltify where it's click, okay, what do you want to add for your incentives? Click, click, click. Okay, what do you want to do for your overlay? Click, click, done. And obviously you get quick with practice, but once I've
Mm-hmm.
sort of decided on a charity, it's a lot simpler to get stuff together because tools like that are accessible to creators. Um, I like to a lot of my work for my next campaign comes sort of on the end of my previous one. And this is something that we actually we ran out of time to talk about on our panel because we all were too excited about charity streaming. But the the thing that I do at the end of a campaign is like a complete breakdown of I pull down my donor information, which incentives they gathered, what an average donation amount was. I sort of like do all of that analytics work at the end of a particular campaign so that I can have in my head, okay, well, next time I do this, like people really didn't like, the googly eyes one. That's a lie. Everyone loves googly eyes, but like people,
Right.
people really didn't like, XYZ thing. So next time I'm going to try something different. Or, hey, I noticed that like my average donation was closer to $10 than I thought. So maybe I'll make a really valuable incentive $10, right? And it's because I'm sitting here in my marketing brain and going like, how can I optimize my next campaign? But but having that kind of in my head at the end of one campaign, when I then go to plan for the next one, it's like, okay, remember people didn't like blah blah blah, so try something else. And then we just sort of put it together. I've also gotten I think my slow points are really like that decision making, and then anything that's like,
Yeah.
oh, I gotta make social posts about this ahead of time. Darn it. I know I have to do it every time. Did I make one?
Yes.
No, I did not. Not following my own advice is the
Yeah, it's
slowdown for
okay.
myself.
We who takes their own advice? Let's be real. None of
Totally.
us. And it's okay.
Not in the
We rather
slightest.
give right. We rather give that energy to others. That's why we're community managers. I
Yeah.
got you. Don't worry. I got
I need that as like a printed poster that's like
you.
we give our
Yes.
energy to others. That's why we're community managers.
Oh my I need to trademark it. Hold on, hold on,
Yeah, I
hold on.
know.
Let me
You gotta
trademark it
you
right
gotta
now.
make like
That
I
was
need like a
really
needle
good.
point of that above my desk.
Yeah. Just to remind yourself, okay, maybe I should give myself some time today to get
Just a little
things
bit.
done. Just a
Just a
little
little bit.
bit. Thank you to share for lurking. I appreciate it. Thank you everybody for hanging out with us. And if you have any questions, just throw them in chat. Okay. Any questions for me,
Absolutely.
Libby? Or yeah, if you want to comment on anything we're chatting about, feel free. We are so excited to be here live with y'all and sharing this experience and sharing Libby's story. Well, many
Thank you.
stories she has.
Yeah, a whole book.
Many
Hold on.
different
Let me just
paths.
pull out the
Let's
ancient
just
scrolls.
yeah, you need a book written about you.
Oh,
Well,
that's
that's cool.
intimidating. It's been really interesting. You know, we had talked about this at another point. I think it's really fascinating is that you and I are sort of old hat creators, where I started in 2014 and you started 2016, I think.
16.
Am I gonna?
Mhm.
Yes, okay, got it right. Um, and I think some of the things that were true for us at that point in creating sort of changed with multiple waves of just the creator economy changing and then also everyone starting to
Yeah.
stream in the pandemic. Like there's so many
Yeah.
things that have changed that like that historical knowledge is super super important. Maybe we'll just write like a our own little book together. It'll be great.
We should.
But
We have
it's
so much
cool. Like
knowledge and experience.
I remember starting off streaming and talking to folks who had already been streaming for several years, like people whose communities I was a member of, obviously with TeamKitty, Kitty Plays, and like in 2014 and 2015 getting the like advice from the sage at that point. And so it's very strange to have shifted into like, oh well, you've been doing this so long, you have so much info. And I'm like, no I don't. I started streaming yesterday and I never unmute my microphone. Don't ask me for anything.
Gosh, yeah, we are truly veterans and we have had our fair share of experiences and so
Yep.
many different campaigns we fundraise for, especially with Team Kitty. it's just been awesome. Libby does a great job rallying us together as a team of amazing women, just to support a cause, A Thousand Dreams Fund, St. Jude, so forth. And we do it together and we have fun and we support one another, especially doing St. Jude Play Live. We have a whole
Oh
Discord
yeah.
for people outside of Team Kitty as well. We come together, we rate each other, we'll do donos on each other's campaigns and share our communities together. It's an amazing thing. Of course, I'm giving Livy all the credit because this spotlight is about her, but so many people come together as a collective to make this happen. Okay.
Yeah,
And
I like that part
I'm
better.
so
Let's give everybody
thankful.
else the credit. Let's give
I knew
all of
you
our
were going to
streamers
say
the credit.
something. I knew you were going to say something. So,
No,
Kelly, everybody.
it's such a joy to bring the team together. So I started managing TeamKitty. Like I said, I was actually, when I was first starting streaming, I was video editing and doing sort of like freelancer work for Kristen, Kitty Plays, TeamKitty founder, as much as we might, be able to connect those dots. And I sort of evolved. At one point, we had a conversation where she was like, "Wait, so you're in graduate school for like a business degree?" I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "Then why are you doing my video editing? Like, let's do like the business of Kitty Plays together, right? Like, let's do the kitty stuff. I have this team of women that I don't know what to do with. I just want to have a team where we inspire women and do cool stuff for women and femmes on the platform." And so that's when I took on TK. And when we started doing charity streams, it was like, okay, this is where like the avalanche begins. And we started with like
Yeah.
a St. Jude campaign and we did a little bit. And then it was a St. Jude campaign and a bunch of us were doing it. And we hit, I think when we first passed, like the first time we ever passed like $10,000 as a team, I was like, like freaking out. And then
Yes.
the year we did 80, I was like, excuse me? Like it is absolutely, I'm happy to be haha the cat herder, right, of getting everybody together and in the room and organized to get the stuff done, but it is 100% on the backs of the incredible creators that you know are doing the work. And like you said, people who aren't even on the team, whether it's members
Yeah.
of Team Kitty streamers communities or just folks who saw what we were doing and thought it was cool. I'm happy to create the structure upon which all of these folks will climb and do awesome stuff. And it is just an absolute joy to do that. And I love all my girls. And it is truly, like you said, it is a sisterhood of
It
people
is.
who believe in stuff and want to do it together and want to support each other and you know braid each other's hair and have pillow fights in the sleepover Discord. It's fun. And it's it's the fun kind of work, I guess, is the best way to say it. And that's part of why I do what I do in this space, is like, yeah, I'm doing like the things I was professionally trained to do, but I'm having
Yeah.
the most fun while I do it. And
Absolutely.
that's what you got to aim for.
Yeah, and I know you feel fulfilled in your work every single day, just helping people, working with Players versus Cancer,
Hmm.
and fighting for that mission with other creators. And you're
Hmm.
probably working with new fundraisers, like, oh, I'm starting my first campaign for PVC. What can I do? And then you go back to like, wow, I remember being in those shoes, but now I can give them the best advice ever because I've been doing it for so long, and I work in a space, and I get to help make them successful in their fundraising and make it fun at the same time. So this work is so
Yeah,
fulfilling. I'm in love
it
with it.
is.
I
It
miss
is.
fundraising, but I have to pass down. Got to pass it down to everybody else,
Hmm.
all the new streamers that started streaming with the pandemic. I'm like, hey, you were doing great. You just started streaming. Now let's get you to charity streaming. Let me tell you about the good
Yes.
thing, Tiltify. So
Yeah,
I've been working
absolutely.
hard with that.
And it's
But
it's been so
whew,
fun to do that. I do that for other creators too. Is we I love jumping on and like, okay, you don't know what to do, you don't know how to do alerts, like screen share. I'll show you, right? Like that kind of bonding moment over like figuring out the problem together has been
yes.
really fun. Like just little coaching of a new streamer of like, hey, come on, jump on Discord. We'll get your campaign set up. No worries, I got you. It's really fun.
It is. And Libby, you talked about starting content creation and learning that, oh my God, I can give back with my community. What inspires you the most to fundraise with your community?
Ooh, so I think this answer has changed a lot over time. Um, when I started, it was, oh, well, I feel very weird about, I wanted to try streaming, but I feel weird about it being about me. So I want to do it, you know, for another purpose other than like my own self-fulfillment here. I want to be able to create change. And at this point, I think there's a couple of things. One is just it's so much fun to spend this time and put effort into something and create content, right? For there's only so many ways you can say stream, with these people that I've built this community with over the last too many years to do the math on, and eight. There we go.
Yes.
That now we've sort of like all committed ourselves as members of our community to like, no, this is something that we do. This is a value of our community and it's something we hold up. And when it's somebody that's new that's coming into my stream or my Discord, the first thing they're going to see is, oh, okay, we care about doing something outside of ourselves. And within community management, right, you do everything you can to build inclusive communities with, shared values, with values that are positive. And for me at this point, committing to when I'm streaming, there's at least a charity event once a quarter. We're giving back. Well, like I said, I work full time. I am not streaming as my job. I am here to have fun with my community, and something that is important to us is giving back. And so I try to, pick something new each time, something different. Or at least, obviously there's things that you do every year and like kind of recurring campaigns, but throughout the year, raise awareness for different causes, bring stuff that is important to my community forward, whether it is, a specific issue, it's Pride Month. Let's make sure we're fundraising for LGBTQIA plus rights, right? Like whatever that is, if it's important to my community, it's important to me as their lead, it's important to all of us to be able to give back. And it's just been a great place to showcase different causes and do something positive for them.
Absolutely. And you do a great job of doing it. I got to tell you, you have the most fun incentives and milestones ever. There's this iconic photo of Libby with googly eyes literally everywhere. She's covered. And
the thing
she
about
makes
those,
it fun.
The thing about those that are so funny is it's always me saying something as a like eye roll. Oh my God, we're never gonna do this. Like someone was like, "What would it that picture?" And I distinctly like I made like a clip out of it in a TikTok or whatever. That picture with the full face of googly eyes. Someone in my chat was like, oh, like what would it take? I know you're doing googly eyes for a couple dollars. Like if we put one anywhere on your face, what'll it take for you to do like the Jenna Marbles disco ball face out of googly eyes? And I was like, I don't know, $500. Like I was just saying it like off the cuff, like, yeah, whatever, buddy. Right. And it's always that like you make a stupid bet with chat and then it happens. And it literally was like,
do it.
2 minutes after I'd said that, and it was like, so and so has donated $500. Do it. And I was like, okay, well, this is the whole content of the evening now. And I sat there in just chatting, and I put all of these Google. It was a time, and I like it sounds so silly, but it's make a silly bet with your chat and watch your chat go. All right, it's on. Let's do the thing.
Yes,
and that's always been really interesting.
But also, now if one person can't drop $500, there is a beautiful feature called Targets on Tiltify.
Yes.
And it is a pool of fundraising. It's like a fundraising pool. So, hey, this target, I will cover my entire face in googly eyes if you finish this pool of $300. So, literally, 300 people can donate $1, and then boom, that pool is completed. And we're going to cover our face in googly eyes. So, keep that in mind. You're like, wow, I just started streaming. I don't think there'll be somebody that will drop $500 single handedly. But you don't need to do that. A couple people can come together for that one big target goal. So, and it makes it more fun too when you come together. I was
gonna say that motivates people because it's like someone will, okay, let's say it's $300 or whatever. Someone will say like, okay, I can do 25. Like, what can you guys do? And it's like your whole chat is
it's
like,
fun.
Come on, we're gonna make her do it. And it's a bonding moment for them. And for, obviously it's going to do something good for the cause that you're fundraising for. And it's fantastic to watch, like, as much as we can joke, like, oh yeah, chat hates their streamer, right? Like, to watch your community band together on something that's important is like the greatest joy as a creator.
Absolutely.
And it's like, they think it's important, I'm doing it, and I get to embarrass myself. And now they're all working towards this target. I love the use of targets for stuff like that because it brings your people together.
Oh yeah. Targets are my best friend, and I do a different target every stream. I'm like, hey, this is our target for the stream. This is our target for the week. It makes it more fun. It's like, wow, there's something new every time. I'm going to keep coming back to the stream. I'm going to keep saving up my couple bucks for every
Yeah.
stream, and do it as a community and have fun. Yeah, we have so many fun features you can utilize. Take your time when you're creating your campaign. Yes, you can create a campaign in 5 minutes, but that's when you don't add incentives and milestones and
That's when you've been doing it for
rewards.
practice.
Yes, yes. Like my tutorials, I'm like, 5 minutes, I got this. I can create a campaign real quick. I can do it with my eyes closed. But yeah, take the time to create milestones and rewards. Um, what rewards would you recommend for a first fundraiser, Libby?
Ooh, okay. For a first time fundraiser, I'm really big with when I give people advice on incentives to stay within their own limits, right? And not do something crazy. So don't, promise that you're going to go run a marathon when you reach your goal if you're really not a runner, right? I like as sort of simple to get, accessible early milestones and rewards and stuff. I like, um, like stickers on the face, temporary tattoos, something that you can get for like a couple bucks, right? And the reason I like them is there's sort of a visual interest to the stream. So you do something like that where it's, the next person that pops in your chat is like, why is your face covered in googly eyes? And there's a great opportunity for that you to then turn around and be like, because we're fundraising for Players versus Cancer, and my chat did this, and like and it's this great opportunity to jump in. I love, especially for someone who's new, things that don't cost you anything that you don't have to put yourself out for. I
Yeah.
don't do this personally because I'm way too cringe, but when people will do the like, if we reach such and such a goal, I'll release like an old photo of myself, like I'll tweet like a childhood photo that's embarrassing. I won't do it because my mom sits I know you and I both have moms that sit in our chats. Like my mom will be like, you don't need to donate. I'll just post the pictures. Like I know, I'm like,
Right.
Mom, it's for charity. Stop it. But she's like, nah. I'm ready. I'm ready to embarrass her any day. But I love stuff like that because it's personal to you. It drives conversation, but also it doesn't. You're not going out and like having to feel like you need to buy something just to participate. Same things with like people will write donors' names on a pumpkin for their Halloween stream, like stuff that's just sort of the phrase low effort is not intended to be a dig when I use it.
Yeah.
It's low effort, i.e. it's very accessible for a new creator, and in some way there is something interesting and new for your community to look at and take on. And then you can get real crazy with oh, what a $500 my whoever my significant other, my partner, my husband, my wife is going to come in my office and pie me in the face, right? Whatever that is. You can go nuts, but I think to get comfortable and used to it, like something that people can react to in the moment that is sort of lower effort cost.
Yes.
Like a pack of warheads is a couple bucks at CVS, right? And so that for me is like, great, I can buy a pack of warheads and people are set with embarrassing me for a while because I will make the goofiest faces and they'll have a great time. But I think those are nice for early. I think especially folks who are getting started, like you said, don't overthink it, just have fun. Those couple of small things can really make a difference because they give you something to talk about. And that's
Yeah.
what I find new creators will often struggle with on charity streams is they'll say it once and they'll go back to their game and
Yeah.
then they'll be playing for like 2 hours and there's not a return to we're fundraising for such and such a cause. This is super important.
Yeah.
So that's I think the piece that I like to advise new creators on is something that drives conversation.
Yes. Have your call to actions. Have your chat commands.
Oh
Have your
yes.
mods remind your chat. Have a graphic up on your stream. Utilize
Yes.
Tiltify overlays.
They're very good.
And they're
Can
right
agree. They're
there
very
for you.
good.
They're right there for you. They're right there inside of your campaign. You have the overlays button at the top. You click it. Okay. I don't think our site is changing soon, but right now you can click that overlays tab on each one of your campaigns. You can create a template that you can utilize for future campaigns and you don't have to do it over again. Okay. So when you create that template, you're like, hey, I want the classic overlay. I want my event list. I want my alerts. and I want the QR code. All right, that's the default that we have for you. But there's so many different widgets you can add to make it your own and match it to your branding. You could change the colors, whatever it may be, a font for accessibility. You can change the size, everything. So once you create that overlay, you save the template and you can say, this is my every fundraiser overlay template. Okay. When you create
this is all reliable.
all reliable. And then you go to your next campaign that you create, and your template will be right there for your overlays. You don't have to change anything. You just
Yeah.
copy it back into your browser source on your streaming software, and you're set. We try to make your experience easy. You're busy, you're creators. Some of you are full time creators on top of full time jobs. Seems like me, right? But yes,
Well,
we try to make it
full-time
easy.
creator in heavy air quotes next to with full-time job, but that part's not in air quotes. That's full, full-time creator as in full-time thinks about creating and then gets
Right.
really guilty because they're not creating. Anyway, we could talk about that a different
But yes, take advantage. We have all those features ready for you, and we'll be having more and more educational content come out on our socials as well. And Nashira said, "Sorry if this was answered before. Been fixing dinner. Ooh, I want dinner. What are
I
your
know, right?
favorite charities to fundraise for, both of you, and which ones do you hope to fundraise for this coming year?" We can start with Libby.
All right. I was going to say, there is obviously a very biased answer in which I will say Players vs Cancer because that is where I work and I love to help create fundraisers for that. But beyond, like, that is just true regardless. I actually have talked about this a little bit, but the AACR is actually my late father was a pediatric oncologist, so any charity for childhood cancer is super important to me. It's what my dad's life's work was about. But as a cancer researcher, he was actually an AACR scientist member for 30 years, and so being able to like, haha, I work at Players vs Cancer is not the reason I enjoy fundraising for them. It is actually because there's sort of this wonderful full circle component for my life where I'm giving back to an organization that helped him do his work for a very long time. I also there's a local patient care organization to the hospital that he worked at called the Embrace Kids Foundation. It's the stuff where, you know, the family, if a family can't pay their electric bill that month because they're busy paying for treatment, Embrace Kids will cover stuff like that. And they are super local, like they only serve sort of this hospital. But I wanted to do something for them last Childhood Cancer Awareness Month last September. So I got them on Tiltify, and they are on Tiltify in case anyone would like to fundraise for them. I like things that have kind of personal, you know, impact and connection. I also definitely want to do more expansion into mental health charities in the coming year. That's the second half of that answer is I would like to do more with orgs that are doing good stuff for mental health in our communities. And that is on my goals list. What about you, Ash? What's your current faves and who's coming up for you?
Woo! My favorite charities fundraise for 1,000 Dreams Fund. The things that they do for femmes and women in a space is immaculate and it's incredible because the work is always needed. The work is never done. There's always more and more women getting into this space, getting into STEM, getting into whatever it may be, and they need that support because the algorithm suppresses us, and white gamer males suppress us. So especially if you are a marginalized woman, uh, yeah, we need the love and support that we can get. And 1,000 Dreams
We're
Fund does
both
just
Thousand
that.
Dreams Fund recipients, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Yes, ma'am. Go Thousand Dreams Fund.
Yes. And American Heart Association, with the passing of my grandma, she had a lot of heart problems. She had heart failure, COPD, asthma, everything under the sun. So, heart health is super important to me now more than ever. So, that's why I want to focus with American Heart Association more so in the future. Of course, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, that's just a given. With my partner going through leukemia, I know how it is. Well, he was 18. What? Oh, yeah, he was 18. I had to think about it. He was 18 when he was
Mental math is
diagnosed.
hard when you're doing
Right?
this.
Right? So when he was diagnosed, he was 18, and I saw how it affected him in real time as an adult. Imagine these babies that are so small and little and cute and deserve life. They haven't even lived life yet. I will always support St. Jude because they don't charge these kids, they don't charge these families a dime for anything. They they do their job. So that's why I'm heavily invested into St. Jude. And I used to go to the summits when they were a thing before COVID. And
I'm
I get to
I'm
play
still so
games with the
sad.
kids.
My first summit invitation was 2020, and I was like, yeah, I got my tickets, I got my plan, and then we get the email that's like, never mind.
Sorry, COVID is a
It's okay.
thing. We have to protect our
They are
kids,
rocking their digital summits though, right? Like I think
Yes.
there's so much. There's one thing we got out of COVID. It was learning how to do events online, and there's so much good. But yeah, no, there's sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You said summit, and I got real sad real quick.
For a charity representative to say that white males suppress us, that's awful. Charities for everyone. Meaning women, they do. We are women are definitely suppressed in gaming and streaming. We have to
I
work very
I don't
hard
know
to
that
exist
it's
in a space and get respected.
I don't know that it's necessarily there's so much. You said something about algorithmic too. There's
Yeah.
algorithmic
Uh-huh.
suppression, not
Yeah.
to say that there are people who take that action individually, but there are also plenty
Mm-hmm.
of people with fantastic intentions in the gaming space who are not intending to suppress others simply by existing, that I think get lumped into it, and that's not quite fair to do.
Yeah,
But
not involving charity. I was talking about a Thousand Dreams Fund and why I support that cause because they do incredible work for women and femmes in a space because women need support 24/7. The gaming space, streaming space is dominated by male individuals and predominantly white males. Okay. So you don't see women of color up there. You don't see women in that top five. Even with Pokimane being, the top female streamer, she's nowhere near the top 10, top 15. So we are suppressed. We have to work hard to be respected in a space. And that's why I love A Thousand Dreams Fund. So I'm not sure if it was taken a different way or if I'm reading it wrong, Lan, but let me know. But um, yeah, those are the charities that I'm focusing on. And of course, I want to do more work with To Right Love in Our Arms and everything else in between that involves mental health because it's so important more than ever, especially with the pandemic that we're still in. We're still in. So, yeah, it's work that always has to be done. It will never stop. Mental health is something that changes on a daily basis. And sometimes you don't know how to handle your emotions, you don't understand your emotions. Being in the space of the internet and Twitter and social media, it's a lot, you know? And when you're always pushing out content constantly, you never like go back and think, how do I feel? Am I okay pushing out this content? Do I need a break? Am I burnt out? So just having those resources available to you as a creator is very important. So that's why
mm-hmm.
I support all mental health charities for sure that are doing
Yeah.
the right things. So yeah, that's me. That's me. That's me. But Libby, thank you so much for chatting with me today. You are absolutely incredible. And I thank you so much for your time today and all the work that you continue to do. But remember, I did ask you about some incentive and ideas for new fundraisers. Now, let's see. What did you learn from your first charity stream to now? Like, if you could tell us
Ooh.
about that experience
Yeah.
on your first charity stream, how did that go for you? And what did you learn from years ago since
Yeah,
then?
I was gonna say my first charity stream ever was truly like I might have had the overlay, but I don't remember that I necessarily did. I wasn't using the tools that were available even at that point where there weren't as many tools that existed. Um, but I also definitely was so new to streaming that I was afraid of talking about the charity and like I I mean every streamer that is new is, trying to figure out how they want to speak to their audience and how what they want to present. But one of the things that I always fall back on is like I was always so afraid to be like weird or embarrassing or like what if I say something or do something and people think it's dumb and it's like guess what people are going to think what I do is dumb. No one looked at the stream where I did Just Dance in one of those giant inflatable unicorn costumes and was like, an intellectual, right? Like there was, it's okay to embrace your weird, whatever your weird is. And I think I had this interesting combo of like I'd never really streamed and I'd never really charity streamed. So I wasn't really willing to step outside of my comfort zone and do anything that would really attract that attention. I'm actually a fairly introverted person. As is. I sometimes can sort of like flip the switch and not be. But I think for me it was really not knowing what tools I had access to, which obviously there are so many things that you can do now that are different. But really not being afraid to step outside of like a very buttoned up polished thing and to like get crazy and do something silly. And I used to be very afraid of having like my personal life on stream, and then like I had my mom come and do Twitch Sings with me, like just those things of like it's okay to open. And actually there's one more, I swear I know we're coming on time, but there's one more I thought of is don't be afraid to share your campaign to people outside of Twitch. So the first time I charity streamed, I like just shared it to my chat. A couple of years in, I finally started posting on, this is when I used Facebook, I don't really use it anymore, but like my personal Facebook. I was like, hey friends, you probably don't know that I stream, but I'm doing this fundraiser, and it was actually for St. Jude Play Live that year. You know, hey, like I'm doing this fundraiser, here's the link. And I started to get people from my real life who were donating to it, and that can feel really, really scary. But I gave a couple of people warnings like, hey, don't be like, hi, this is Ashley from your 2010 college lecture on blah 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 at such and such university, right? Like don't dox me in my chat. But like it was great to see sort of the real life people. And it was always like my mom's friends donated, and like my aunt and uncle, right? Like the expansion outside of what you think is your audience, right? Your gaming community, your Discord, your Twitch stream. And to be able to say, I have some real life, non-gaming life friends and family who are also interested in doing this. They're going to be part of this too. And I've actually ended up with a couple people like coming back as recurring viewers who are like, I didn't really know what Twitch was. I just wanted to support what you were doing, but I really like this. And that's been really interesting. So as long as you're being, safe with yourself, it's okay to share outside of what you think the community is.
Yes, I find myself fighting all my high school friends. Oh, aren't you Ashley? But I'm like, did you have to go that far? Then put the city, then put the high school, then my last name?
We went to blah 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 school together, and we are class of blah blah blah. Like, ooh, stop. This is the online space. Let's not.
Yes. So that's perfect. I feel like I can relate to you on all of those things you said, because being scared to talk about the charity. Like, hello, you're fundraising. Talk about it. You're supposed to talk about it. You got to tell the people. Yeah. I find myself just sitting there playing games, like you said earlier, and I'm like, well, no one donated. All right, end of stream. You didn't talk about it. You had no overlay. Come on, girl.
And then it's, oh, I don't charity stream because it never does anything. And I'm like,
right.
Are you sure?
Yeah, no. Wonderful. I love it. Those are all wonderful pieces of advice and experiences that you can look at, all right, from both of our experiences and be like, okay, this is what I'm going to do on my first charity stream. Not do that. I'm going to be better. Okay. That's why we're here sharing it with you. But of course, you're always going to do something at the beginning or forget or change something up. Okay. Every single fundraiser, I change something up. Okay. I've been fundraising for 5 years. Okay. 5 years. And there's something new every single campaign. I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this instead. Oh, this didn't do well that time. Oh, let me try this strategy. Let me go back and look at the analytics. What is doing well here? Did this social post do well? Should I do this better? Should I do this at an earlier time? Should I tell my community months in advance that I'm doing this? Or should I tell them a week before?
What's the scale? If I say it 10 days early, are people going to forget? If I say it, but 6 was too soon because no one felt ready, so is it 8? Like,
yeah,
too much nuance.
Absolutely. Yes, like Marpek said, call to action. You have to have a call to action. You have to, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's why I say use our overlays. Use them. Use them. They're there. There's so many different widgets. Okay. Use them. All right. Every time I go to a charity stream, I'm like, hey, buddy, let's chat. Use the overlays. Just have, and if you don't like the big classic overlays that we have just a text file of raised and then the amount. If you like simple, we have those options for you. So of course, reach out to me. We have our Discord server support system. If you need help or whatever it may be, if you have feedback for us, we love feedback. Our platform is for you. It's not for us, it's for you and the charities. We are only here because of y'all, nobody else. It's because you take the time to utilize your community and support something you're passionate about. So give us that feedback. We love feedback. I love feedback. Gimme, 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 gimme. So have fun, most importantly, and do some good with your community. That's what matters. And
That's
Libby,
what we're
did you
here
have
for.
any last words to share with our community?
Um, Thank you for having me on here. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about what we do. If anything that I said about charity streaming or the kind of resource that I added is interesting, my Twitter is at LibbyK, or Askesienne pretty much everywhere else. It should be here. Um, and as far as Players vs. Cancer go, this December from the 1st to the 15th, like I said, we're doing an event called the PVC Winter Formal. And if you want to talk to us about it, it's playersvscancer.org/discord. And I will, like we said, it's literally my job to help you get set up. And I can't wait to see you in your winter formal best to kick cancer's butt. Anyway, but mostly just thank you for having me. Appreciate the opportunity to talk about what I do, and thanks for creating a space where folks can do good for their communities.
I'm happy to be here. I'm happy. I mean, Tiltify literally shaped me and my life and my voice as a whole in on this or in this industry, because I started my campaign 3 months after I started streaming, and I was always taught to give back. So I was like, wow, I could fundraise. And that was at the time Kyle was diagnosed and Play Live came up. I said, wow, Tiltify, what's this? And I was with Team Send Squad at the time. And the moment that I got my first donation, I said, wow, I can do something with streaming more than
Yeah.
myself, like you were talking about earlier. So now that I get to work at the platform and shape it and tell stories of creators, it's awesome. So thank you so much for joining me and sharing your story with us. You're wonderful,
Thank you.
Libby. I love you. Thank you, everybody that chatted. Thank you for all the positivity. And of course, be respectful. I have to mention that. Be respectful. The things I talk about are real and they're not fake. It's realistic things that happen to me and other women in a space or whatever it may be, just creators as a whole. Um, so be respectful. If you are confused at anything that I say that involves um, marginalized communities, ask questions, don't assume. So just a heads up. All right. We're here to communicate and be adults and chat because that's what we're here for. We're here to chat, share stories, share our experience. So keep that in mind when you are viewing the Tiltify stream and my stream as a creator on Miss Ash Rocks. So I love y'all. Thank you so much for being here. Libby, have a great rest of your day. I
Thank
love
you.
you
You as
so much.
well.
Also,
You take care of yourself. I know you still got time. You're
yes.
West Coast, so I am off for the evening, but you enjoy the rest of your day as well, and I will catch you very soon.
Yes, we're going to find someone to raid really
Okay.
quick, unless you want to find somebody for
Oh, hold
us.
on.
How about
That
that?
involves a lot of tabbing out. Hang on.
Tab out. Tab out. I have time.
That involves a lot of tabbing out.
Yeah.
Um, let's see.
Thank you,
Who do we
mister.
have?
Thank you.
I was
Thank
gonna
you,
say,
Shot.
let
Thank you
me
for
look,
being here.
look for the team.
I came in just to
Uh,
see your beautiful faces. Sorry I missed the last hour. Don't worry, Violet. How are you? It's so nice to see you. You're amazing, by the way. Literally, always active in a Discord and chatting with everybody. We really appreciate it, Violet. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
mm,
So,
I have a thought if you're interested.
okay. Yeah, of
So I was going
course.
like, okay,
Always.
let's look at like TeamKitty. Let's look at our teammates,
Yeah.
right? And then I
Uh-huh.
thought, I see that Jess is live, and Jess, not only since we're talking about charity, Jess works with Gamers Outreach, and maybe we could go give Jess some love. Literally
Oh,
twitch.tv/Jess.
yes.
Also,
Of
imagine having
course.
such an easy username.
Right?
Literally Jess. Like, oh my gosh. But
Okay.
that might be a
Let's
fun
do
one. I
it.
know they just did an
Oh,
event
absolutely.
recently with y'all, so
Yes, we love Jess. She's wonderful. I was so excited to see that she was on a Gamers Outreach team. I'm like,
mhm.
yes, Jess, go. It's wonderful,
Yes.
wonderful. Yes, let's do it. All right, y'all. Let's get that raid message in chat. Add your own emotes, spice it up if you want. And we're going over to Jess.
All
So let's start
right.
that raid over here.
I got
Okay,
my
there it
copy
is.
paste ready. I'm gonna not hit enter because that would be silly.
But everybody, we have our Control Plus Stream Kit extension. You can follow the Players versus Cancer Twitch channel, and you can also follow Askesienne, aka Libby, on her Twitch channel as well. So take advantage of that and keep up with them in their content. And of course, you can fundraise for Players versus Cancer today or anytime. So of
Mhm.
course, reach
And
out
if you
if you
can't
need
find us,
help.
look for American Association for Cancer Research because sometimes it shows as
Boom.
one and sometimes it shows the other. Anyway, sorry, continue your spiel.
You're fine. All right, y'all, let's go raid. Oh, Nashira adding a poo booty. I love it. I love it. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your Tuesday. I will be live again here on the channel on Thursday. We're talking with JDRF and another creator talking about an Apex tournament for charity. Really excited. So don't miss that stream. That will be at noon PST. I hope I have my times right. Noon PST. We'll have our events in Discord as well, so you can keep up with that. So thank you all. Have a great day. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye, y'all.